everyone, it's Jen. Welcome back. So today for you, I'm going to share with you all of the new releases coming out in February that I am very excited to check out. So some of these are by authors that I have loved before and others are brand new to me. So let's just get started. I know there are way more coming out than what I am going to share with you today, but these are just the ones that piqued my interest for one reason or another. These are the ones I added on my Goodreads to keep an eye out for, and a few of them I even have already on hold at my library, so we shall see. Let's just get started. So I have two books that come out on February 4th that I'm very excited about. The first one being A Killing Cold by Kate Alice Marshall. So Kate Alice Marshall, her first, I believe it was her first adult title that she wrote, was called What Lies in the Woods, and I read that a couple years ago and really enjoyed it. It doesn't have like the strongest ratings on Goodreads in my opinion, but me personally, it just worked for me. I really enjoyed it, so I'm excited to pick up this book by her. This book actually kind of reminds me, it sounds like The Family Game by Catherine Steadman, so that could be a good thing or bad thing, depending on how you felt about that book. But we have Theodora and Connor. They're engaged, and she's invited by her fiance to go back to meet his family. And there's this wealthy it takes place in the snow. They're a wealthy family. They have this isolated cabin that they're going to. So there's where the similarities sound like The Family Game to me. But she starts getting like warning messages threatening her to stay away from Connor, so she's not sure what that's about. And as she gets to this retreat, she has this vague like memory of being there before. And so something about Theo that we know from like the jacket cover is that she doesn't remember her early childhood. So parts of her memory, and she starts coming back, and as she's at this retreat getting these disturbing warning signs, these messages, she's also starting to like piece together parts of her childhood, and these memories are coming back. That's all I know. It sounds good. It sounds intriguing. I'm going to pick it up. The other book on the 4th is A Long Time Gone by Joshua Moehling. Now, this is number 3 in the Ben Packard series. I own the first two. I read the first one. I'm a little bit behind. I won't go into too much detail because this is number 3 in the series, but Ben, I guess, when he was a boy, his older brother disappeared. So some new information has surfaced on his brother's cold case. No one knows what happened to his brother. He is going through a very harsh winter, and he's cut off from the department resources right now. I'm not sure what that's about, but I think that might have something to do with book 2, so I didn't dig into that. But as this new information comes about, he decides to start looking back into his brother's disappearance. And then he stumbles upon another really suspicious death, and there's connections in between the two cases. So he solves it. Well, hopefully he solves it. So there's that. I really like the first one, the first Ben Packard, so I'm excited for this number 3 book. It makes me want to pick up book number 2 so I can catch up. Okay, on the 11th, let's see, I have 4 books coming out on February 11th that I'm very excited about. First, we have a romance. B.K. Borison, who I've not read yet, she has a book called First Time Caller coming out. It sounds really sweet. It's called Heartstrings Number 1, so I guess it's a new series that B.K. Borison is coming out with. But we have the female lead character who's a hopeless romantic, and it has a lot of Sleepless in Seattle vibes, which is what hooked me because that's such a cute movie. I love that movie. And we have Aiden, who is the host of this new radio show that it's like a romance hotline where you can get dating advice. So that's all I want to know. Somehow those two connect, and I'm very excited to hopefully one point check out a romance by B.K. Borison, because I feel like a lot of people, there's a lot of hype around her right now, and we get a lot of good feedback about her romances, so this might be a good place to start. So if you love her, she has a new one coming out. Next on the 11th is a mystery. This is a twisted locked room mystery, and this is You Are Fatally Invited by Ande Pliego, if I'm saying that right. Never heard of Ande Pliego. A new author for me. I don't know. Let me know down below if you've read anything by him before. But we have a private island. We have a writer's retreat and a twisty locked room mystery. That's all I want to know. The cover of this book is what brought it to my attention, and so I added it to my list. So that sounds really good. And next on the 11th is a new author, a debut by an author named Laura McCluskey, and this is a book called The Wolf Tree. Another awesome cover. I really like this cover. This one, like I said, is a debut novel laced in dark folklore, takes place on the remote Scottish islands. We have an island lost in time that has a cryptic pagan past. We have shocking secrets, and some of these secrets should stay buried. So it's a new voice in crime mystery fiction, and I like crime mystery fiction, so I'm excited to check out someone new. The basis of the story is in 1919, there were 3 lighthouse keepers that disappeared without a trace. And then in present day, a man is found dead by this lighthouse. So 2 detectives are sent over from Glasgow to investigate this murder. We're dealing with hostile islanders who are kind of trying to thwart the investigation. The investigators that came in, one of them is just coming back to work with her from some kind of tragic accident. So I want to know what happened there. And so her and her partner work this case, and I'm excited to see where this goes. I like the idea of the dark folklore mixed in there, and I'm excited to check out this author. Okay, last on the 11th, but not least, we have a new JoJo Moyes book called We All Live Here. So The Giver of Stars was the last JoJo Moyes book I read, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm excited. I feel like that was out maybe 2 or 3 years ago. So it's been a minute since we've gotten a book from JoJo Moyes. So this one is going to be more on the contemporary side, maybe a little bit light romance, but we have a story of a woman named Lila Kennedy who has a lot on her plate, and it's a story of her unruly blended family. She has a broken marriage, she has 2 wayward daughters, her house is falling apart, and her elderly stepfather just moved in. So she's got a lot going on. And then the last straw, the cherry on top, was her real birth father, who disappeared, ran away to Hollywood 35 years prior, shows up on her doorstep. So this book, it says it shows you what love means, what it means to be a family, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see these characters. JoJo Moyes' writing is always good, in my opinion. I've only read a couple by her, but I've liked everything I've read so far. So if you love JoJo Moyes, get excited on the 11th. Okay. Now, on the 13th, one of my most anticipated releases of the year is The Sirens by Emilia Hart. Yes, I have this on hold already at my library. We have sisters that are separated by hundreds of years, but they have a lot of connections, and they're bound together in ways that only Emilia Hart can write, I'm sure. So in 2019, so the present timeline, we have Lucy and Jess. So Lucy has been having these vivid, very real dreams that she can't explain, and her final straw was she woke up in her ex-lover's bedroom with her hands around his throat. So she flees to her sister Jess, stays with her sister Jess. She lives on an island, I believe, as well, and she's hoping Jess can help her make sense of what's going on with her, these visions, these dreams she's been having. And then she finds that Jess is missing. So Lucy stays at Jess's house trying to figure out where the heck her sister is. And as she's there, she starts to unearth some kind of different dark rumors about the town. We have an abandoned baby. We have waves that are whispering in women's voices. We have missing men, all of these things. Then we also follow sisters Mary and Eliza in 1800, who are torn from Ireland, which is their home, and put on a convict ship and shipped to Australia. So it doesn't give too much detail about that storyline, but I'm very excited to see how they come together. In this book, we're going to get strong powers of sisterhood, female resilience, and the magic of the sea. I'm hoping there must be some kind of mermaid vibe, hence the title, The Sirens. So we shall see. I'm very excited to get my hands on that one. Let's see. Next release I'm excited about is The Quiet Librarian by Eskens. You guys already know how I feel about him as an author. But on the 18th, he has this new book coming out. And we have a librarian named Hannah who lives in Minnesota, and she just wants to live a quiet life, be left alone, those kinds of things. And a detective comes to her one day and tells her that her best friend from her past has been murdered. So Hannah knows something evil has come for her from her past, and this comes from a past that her and this friend that has been murdered shared. So 30 years prior, Hannah was went by another name. I think it's pronounced Nura. So she's a teenager in war-torn Bosnia, and she sees her whole family murdered before her eyes. So she joins a band of militia fighters, and that's where she meets Mora. So Nura, or Hannah, whichever name you want to call her, flees to the U.S. with a bounty on her head. That's all I want to know. Obviously, she's going to have to probably survive, figure out who's after her, and do what she's got to do to stay alive. Sounds really good. I'm excited. It sounds a little bit different than other books by Ellen Eskens, so I'm excited to check it out. Okay, on the 25th, we have a few. 25th, the first one is a new Lisa Unger book, Close Your Eyes and Count to 10. You had me at this high-stakes thriller, deadly hide-and-seek game. It takes place on an island. I love books on islands. It's going to be a test for survival. It starts off as to be this like social media stunt that they're going to do. And all the contestants are on this island, but a storm rages on, and there's some kind of deadly threat stalking all the contestants. And it turns into something much more sinister than just a social media stunt. So that's all I need to know. I definitely want to pick that one up. Okay, next on the 25th, we have Something in the Walls by Daisy Pearce. Now, this is going to be more on the horror side of mystery thriller, but it sounds super intriguing to me. So we are following Mina. She has just become a child psychologist, got her degree in that, and she's trying to start her career. It's going kind of slow. She's also working on planning her wedding. She's getting married in the near future. And she's also managing some grief from her past. So she starts to join a local bereavement group because her older brother died years ago. And while she's at this bereavement group, she meets Sam, who is a journalist, and he has a proposition for her. This proposition, Mina's excited about because she feels like it could start giving her some experience with her new career as a child psychologist. And we meet Alice, who is a 13-year-old. She has some very strange, disturbing personality trait side effects. Things are happening with this child that the parents are looking for help about. And she meets Alice, and Alice says that there is a witch haunting her. That's all I want to know. We have superstition in this town and a lot of witchy vibes, and I'm very excited. I'm definitely here for this. Okay, two more on the 25th, and then that is all I have. So the next one is Famous Last Words. We're getting a new one by Gillian McAllister, which I'm very excited about. Camilla is a new mother, and she's about to go back to her job as a literary agent after this maternity leave. So she drops her daughter off at daycare, and she also that same morning finds a note in bed where her husband should be sleeping. This is a very sinister note with very cryptic. She's not sure what the heck's going on, and then breaking news pops on the television, and there is a hostage situation in London. Luke, who is her husband, is involved in this hostage situation, and he is the gunman. So I like that this book only gives us a very small amount of what this book is about, because I know with her other books there are so many twists and turns, and they're usually pretty unique thrillers in my opinion. So I'm excited that we're going in a little bit blind. We don't have a ton of information on this, but it sounds intriguing, and I will definitely be picking it up. And then last but not least, we have one more romance coming out on the 25th that I'm excited about, and that is Back After This by Linda Holmes. I think this is the third book she's written. I could be wrong on that. I read the first one. The second one's on my shelves. But this one sounds, I've heard it's a little bit more on the rom-com side versus the contemporary romance side. So we have a podcaster producer who puts everything into her career. Her love life has kind of been put aside so she can, pursue her career. And her boss finally offers her the opportunity of a lifetime, and he asks her to be a host of a new podcast show, new series. But the twist is, there's two twists. One of them is this show is all about her dating life. And the twist number 2 is that during this show, she's going to be mentored by a dating coach. So there you have it. I think she maybe falls in love or starts having a crush on someone she works with. So you might have a little bit of a workplace romance in here as well. But I'm excited to check this out by Linda Holmes. So there you have it. That's everything in February that's being released I'm excited about. Please tell me down in the comments below, what did I miss? What are you guys excited about in February? What are you anticipating? I love chatting with you guys down below. Thanks again for stopping by my channel and happy reading. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.